Poverty is a persistent issue that affects many households in Nigeria. People often find themselves fluctuating in and out of poverty, with many escapes providing to be temporary, preventing individuals from falling into poverty is as crucial as lifting them out of it. It's as crucial as lifting them out of it. The International Day for the Eradication of Poverty was established to honor the struggles of those living in poverty while calling for action to eliminate it. Tonight, we will focus on this important topic on Saturday Discourse. As usual, we will have our guest in the studio, but this will be after the stories. To stay with us, I am Abdullah Hajia. Welcome. Thank you for staying tuned. Let's begin from the health sector. Recent health sector reforms by the present government have introduced a basic health care provision fund to provide a minimum package of health services for all Nigerians. However, many Nigerians are calling for full implementation across the health facilities, particularly in the FCT, citing gaps in the services. Deborah Gazal Shimaika reports.
Nigeria continues in its efforts to reform its healthcare system, but challenges persist. Research shows that about 80% of Nigeria's public health infrastructure is dysfunctional, hindering effective healthcare delivery. Professor Obinna notes that the overall performance of Nigeria's health system stands at 45%, below the World Health Organization's Africa regional benchmark of 52%.
I think the basic preparation fund is not conceptualized, is not really making that impact it should make among citizens. So, the accountability has to be worked on it too. So I think the government needs to do something. When we look at the way we are performing, or the gap in services delivery in our performance, and this basic care provision fund, if it's effectively implemented.
Compounding the issue, 70% of healthcare delivery in Nigeria is provided by the private sector, placing a significant burden on citizens. Ongoing reforms in the health sector aims to achieve universal health coverage by 2030 and reduce treatment costs.
One key thing that we need to know is to give people's rights, as taking health as their right, and then demanding for it. If people start demanding for their rights when they visit a facility or when they don't have the services they desire, then government and the service providers will sit up.
Stakeholders are calling on the government to enhance collaboration with health policy research group to inform effective decision-making and drive progress. While challenges remain, stakeholders are optimistic about the potential for reform to improve Nigeria's healthcare system. In Abuja, Deborah Gazajim-Micah, NTA News.
Adron Homes and Properties, one of Nigeria's leading real estate companies, has officially unveiled its 2025 Lemon Friday promo, a campaign widely known for making home ownership more affordable for Nigerians. Aisha Bashir reports.
The promotional offer, which has over the years transformed the lives of many Nigerians, returns with even greater opportunities for aspiring homeowners, featuring a suite of benefits and incentives. At the official launch held at the company's Oku office, the Deputy Managing Director, Bumi Akinfe, expressed delight at the unveiling. She noted that the Lemon Friday promo has consistently empowered Nigerians to own property while offering affordable housing options and valuable gift packages.
These are times where we have, we even buy more products to showcase, which we have been doing annually. Is actually an annual event, and this time around, we are giving massive discounts on all our products. And as you know, we have for hard run, we have what we call the flexible payment plan. Flexibility is our word, where we have spread payment to as much as 100 months for all our clients. We just don't look at the high end. We look at both the artisans, the low income earners, and we call cut across all to everybody. If we are not trustworthy, we can stay all that long. Truly, there is space for people to doubt that 500 naira. How is that even possible? Are you sure they won't even run away? But by the grace of God, here we are today. We have housed thousands of Nigerians, and we are still doing it. So I think by so doing, by our record, it shows that we are trustworthy, and it shows that we are capable for people to be with us.
Our estates are very, very real. As the staff is selling to you, I believe they must have told you we are ready to take you for site inspection. That is another thing. You will go to see the site, you will verify for yourself that it's real.
Subscribers to the promo stand to enjoy discounts of up to 30% on selected properties with flexible payment plans spread across 24 months. This year's edition caters to Nigerians across different walks of life, with Adron Homes property locations spanning Lagos, Abuja, Ogun, Oyo, Oshun, Nasarawa, Niger, Ekiti, and Plateau states. The company continues to position itself at the forefront of bridging Nigeria's housing deficit by providing secure, comfortable, and affordable luxury housing solutions. Aisha Bashir, NT News.
Now to our very topic of the day, as recent World Bank report reveals that over half of Nigerians live in poverty. Many are decrying the situation as a moral outrage, urging stakeholders to take deliberate steps to address it. Ramatu Abdullahi explores the significance of the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty and efforts to bridge the gap between the poor and the wider society.
Beyond the beautiful scenery of the major streets of Abuja, there are contrasting views in many satellite towns where people struggle with low income and lack basic capabilities needed to live with dignity. According to the World Bank reports, about 62% of the population are living in poverty. Experts have identified several contributing factors, including high food inflation and high unemployment.
When you cannot be able to meet your basic needs, like food, like shelter, like clothing, are you getting me? Healthcare. Once you don't have the resources, either due to unemployment or underemployment, are you getting me? You can be categorized that you are a poor person.
The government has introduced numerous intervention programs to help lift people out of poverty. These include the Renewed Hope Agenda, which supports vulnerable populations, student loans, conditional cash transfers, and various reforms across different sectors of the economy. However, Nigerians believe that more efforts are needed to boost agriculture, improve food production, reduce inflation rates, and stabilize the naira, among other comprehensive measures to tackle this issue.
Nigeria need to industrialize, how to open more companies.
With the proper government doing the right thing, doing the proper thing, I think poverty can easily be eradicated.
A lot of people that they have something, that whenever they have it, they have to assist their others.
When you talk about poverty, if you notice, the new curriculum is now inclusive of skill acquisition, that even when you are out of school, you don't.
Poverty line always said somebody's poor.
Well, a person is poor if he is denied certain basic amenities that is right, because we cannot basic amenities that is right, because we cannot say benefits. A person is poor if he's unable, or he or she is unable to cater for themselves, and those who are whom he or she has responsibility to. A person is also poor if they cannot have the right to defend all the five of the components of right, right to life, right, and then it's prohibited, and then it's affected equally in the area of distribution of social public resources. So poverty is, is relative, affects people in different ways and in different forms. And a woman that will wake up in the morning and have to trek long distances to fetch water that she will drink and then have it for her family chores. A woman that will have to trek long distances for her to access health services for antenatals. A child that is given birth to and is not able to register to be registered at birth. A child that do not have access to education, and then food, and then the child that is not access to protection, a community of people that are affected by insistent and continuous insecurity, and they cannot produce to eat, and they cannot produce. Even the subsistence is not available. These are poor people.
Well, that's a very good one there. Now, most times we talk about figures to be able to have a head count of whether this is the actual percentage of those that are poor or not. Most times we try to fault figures. We say we don't have accurate figures of some of those statistics. Sometimes, most time we allow international organizations or bodies to come with figures, and at the end of the day, we begin to argue whether it is correct or it is not correct. Going by the figure, we saw, released by the World Bank now. It means there's a lot of, work for the government, and which I feel the private sector should come in. How do you think the private sector can come in to assist government in trying to probably cascade or bring down these figures?
Before coming to the role of private sector, even when the private sector comes, they will require adequate data for planning and implementation. And we don't have any reason in Nigeria to say we don't have data. Why don't we not have data for political polling units? But we have those data. In every unit, we know the people who are around there. We know how many people are expected to vote. We have our census since 1999, right? Do we have a fresh one? What is the responsibility of data, Bureau of Data and Statistics? Why can't we have data? We have three tiers of governance in Nigeria: national level, state level, and local level. Each of these tiers should be able to generate, and must now, because if what the poverty eradication is going to be realistic, then we must have data of those people who are poor within each tier of the government, and each of these government is supposed to be held accountable for the responsibility of putting people out of poverty. Now to the issue of private sector. The private sector is there, but to what extent is there enabling environment for the people to thrive? Yes, the private sector will work, but there is the issue of profit, because this time around there's no free lunch. Everything that a private sector will come in to do, they will invest, but they will expect return. We expect our government to also think business-wise, but also provide the social service. That social contract between government and the people must first of all, be tightened. Then we look at the private sector investment. For instance, now looking at our oil sector, where the private sector coming into the system is trying to break the challenges that we are faced with. So we have to have that enabling environment. We have to have that control that the person who feels the pains of poverty is able to have access to basic social services, and then the complementary role that the private sector will provide will not in any way increase the pain. And then we want to see that not just the issue of the private sector coming in, but we want to see the basic social services being equally and equitably distributed. And so when the resources are distributed, the people have income that they are able to survive with. And then at different levels, then with the private sector engagement, we will be able to see the responsibility and the role role distribution between the government and that particular sector. It's supposed to be a tripartite relationship. The role of the government, the private sector, and the people. That is the agency that will determine. We are talking about prices. Yes, people need to be involved in the decision. We are talking about taxes. We are focusing much more on the rights of the people and their responsibility and their ability to get the right information, the right, data information that they can even hold both government and the private sector accountable.
Okay, if I may interject you, I know you're making so many good points there, but the issue now is most times we know government is doing a lot, no doubt about that, or probably it's not sufficient to be able to probably address this issue and bringing down the number to the barest minimum. Now, I'm more particular about the role of NGOs now, which I know you play a very prominent role in trying to also assist. Whether we like it or not, what NGOs are doing is a way of complementing what government, at different levels are doing. So how far so far with what NGOs are doing? I know you have a well thought out plan and strategic way of trying to reach out to these poor people.
Thank you for the question. Well, the private sector is also divided into different sectors. For instance, the commercial sectors, companies and other, multilateral organizations and others, they have the responsibility for social services. So if they will play their responsibility and provide those services that will pay back, is paying back to the society. For NGOs like Action Aid and others, yes, like you say, we have a strategy that have the three, for instance, for Action Aid, we have defined our strategy that has to do with, improving living standards, and also looking at livelihood and others. And then when you look at it for the other organizations, everybody has their own, standards. They also have their own strategies. Pulling all this together, we work directly with the people at the community. We are able to mobilize and bring information down to the people. We are able to provide social services, including humanitarian response. Others are also contributing their own. So while we look at what government is doing, we are only complementing. The right people, people that will be able to provide these services are the government. So what we first do is to provide information of the amount. For instance, in this month alone, the month of September, sorry, there's a distribution from the federal to state to the local level of up to over 21 trillion. So this is enough to serve, and if it is equitably distributed, should be able to work and support people to move out of poverty. So on our own, we are looking at how do we have people get empowered to be able to understand their rights and demand accountability. From the private sector, we are looking at them implementing their social responsibilities to provide services to these people because they are tapping from the resources that is available in the country. From the government, we expect efficiency in the implementation and the fiscal responsibility that whatever government of the money is there is equitably distributed, and implementation of resources or projects that will help in building capital, human capital development and capital services that reaches the people directly.
All right. Well, I know we have so much to talk on this topic, but let's be looking at our time. Before we let you go, what message would you have for stakeholders across board now? Government, the private sector, the NGOs, and including communities themselves as we celebrate this day, reflecting on what we should do.
Thank you very much. As we reflect on this day, the first thing I want to demand or to request from the government side is fiscal responsibility. Fight, block all the leakages and ensure adequate fight against corruption. Once corruption is tackled, many other problems in Nigeria will be resolved. For the private sector, ensure that, yes, we have enabling environment, pay the relevant taxes, but ensure that the social service that is expected is being implemented. To the poor people who are feeling the pains of poverty, this is a time to mobilize. This is a time to assert their rights. This is a time to understand and demand accountability, ask critical questions on the resources that is meant for them, for their development.
We want to thank you very especially for appearing on Saturday Discourse, and not only that, sharing your thoughts, enlightening us on what we need to know as we celebrate International Day of Poverty. Thank you very much, Deputy Country Director, Action Aid Nigeria, Sueba Mohammed and Kabo, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're still watching Saturday Discourse on the United Station NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Up next is Weekly News Wrap.
Welcome to another edition of Weekly News Wrap, your roundup of major stories that made headlines this week. I am Hawa Gimba. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to resolve outstanding issues with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, while warning against further disruption of the academic calendar. Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, and Minister of State, Professor Sueba Ahmed, said the government has demonstrated sincerity, patience, and its engagement with the union, addressing most of its concerns. The government, however, maintained that the no work, no pay policy remains in effect should the strike continue. And from the FCT, residents of Mabushi district are set to experience improved road connectivity as the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike inaugurates new constructed access road in the area. The minister reaffirmed his administration's resolve to deliver more people-oriented projects that will positively impact the lives of residents. In recognition of their role as nation builders, the Association of Model Islamic School, FCT chapter, has honored over 100 outstanding teachers drawn from 43 member schools. The event celebrated teachers as pillars of academic excellence and moral guidance in line with Islamic values that uphold knowledge as a noble pursuit. As part of activities marking the International Day of the Girl Child 2025, the Lady Helen Child Health Foundation organized an inter-school debate to spotlight challenges confronting young girls and promote equal opportunities for them. Police Community Relations Committee, PCRC Youth Wing, has launched a campaign against jungle justice following the alarming increase in mob action leading to the death of innocent citizens and destruction of property. The sensitization aims to encourage youth to seek lawful means of justice and promote community awareness. And that's Weekly News Wrap for this week. I am Hawa Gimba. It's back to the studio for the continuation of Saturday Discourse.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, after the conclusion of the FIFA international window, major leagues across the world are back. Let's join our sports desk for other sports stories.
President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusso, has confirmed preparations are underway ahead of next month's 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff. The Super Eagles, who finished second in Group C, are among 4 teams set to compete in the playoff tournament scheduled to hold in Morocco. Nigeria will face Gabon in one of the semi-finals on November 13th. Speaking to the Super Eagles media team, Gusso revealed that the federation has already begun making arrangements to ensure the team is fully prepared for the crucial encounter. Meanwhile, Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye has rejoined Udeni's first team squad after serving a suspension linked to a betting investigation. The towering shot stopper has been cleared of any wrongdoing, with Udeni's technical director Nani confirming his reinstatement. In other news, Nigeria's para-powerlifting legend Folashade Oluwafemi Ayo once again etched her name in history, breaking her own world record and winning gold In the 86 kg category at the World Para Powerlifting Championships in Cairo, the 38-year-old lifted 168 kg, surpassing her previous record of 167 kg to reclaim her fourth world title. Finally, African powerhouses Egypt, Nigeria, Tunisia and Algeria have qualified for the 2026 International Table Tennis Federation World Team Table Tennis Championships to be held in London, UK from April 28 to May 10, 2026. With Sports Brief, Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
Before we go, let's quickly tell you that Manchester City, Chelsea, and all recorded a win today upon the return of the English Premier League. Arsenal currently leading Fulham 1-0. That's it on Saturday Discourse. Let's do it again, same time, same station next week when we come with another topic. I am Abdullah Hajia. Good evening.